I love beer. I love its taste. I love its diversity. I love its history and I love its culture. I'm a true beer lover. And I can safely say that there is no place on planet Earth that calls my name any stronger than that infamous beer region in southern Germany called Bavaria. So come with me and see this magical part of planet Earth through the eyes of a beer pilgrim. The capital of Bavaria is the ancient city of Munich, home to the world-famous Munich Oktoberfest. But believe it or not, I wasn't here for Oktoberfest. I was here to see what else this region had to offer beer fanatics like me. Since there are anywhere up to 4,000 different beers that call Bavaria home, most of which can be found in Munich, I figured I'd definitely have my work cut out for me here. But with over 180 beer gardens to choose from, I had enough trouble figuring out where to start. So I thought I'd ask the most passionate, lederhosen-clad local I could find.
There's big secrets. It took me over 30 years to figure them out. And my favorite beer garden is the Chinese tower in the English garden. This is my beer garden number 1. But we have another 180, so lots of things to be tried. All right.
Taking his advice, I took a stroll up along the Isar River towards the Chinese gardens. But what I came across on the way stopped me in my tracks.
And I saw these guys walking through carrying surfboards, so I had to follow them and see what was going on.
The Munich locals are so loyal to their beer drinking venues that in some places, such as the famous Hofbrauhaus, they'll actually lock their own personal beer signs up inside the pub itself awaiting their next session. Just outside of Munich is the town of Freising, home to the world's oldest brewery. This brewery here behind me is called the Weihenstephaner Brewery. It's been operating for a little under 1,000 years, which makes it the world's oldest brewery. Not only that, but they produce some of the finest wheat beers on planet Earth, and if you get there early enough, you can tuck into a traditional Bavarian brunch of Weissbier and Weisswurst. I guess that whole after midday thing doesn't really happen here. And though I had missed Oktoberfest, I caught wind of a smaller, cozier, and much more local beer festival that was taking place just 40 minutes away, so I jumped on the next train.
Hi guys, so we've come to Erlangen to a festival called the Bergkirchweih. Take you for a bit of a walk. It's by no means Germany's biggest beer festival, but it's definitely Germany's oldest. In fact, it's the world's oldest beer festival. It's over 260 years old. Having said that, it still attracts over 1 million people over the 12 days that it's held. And it's all based around these things here. Cellars that dig way back inside the mountain. This is before the days of refrigeration. They used to get their barrels of beer, take them deep inside these tunnels here, then they would cut ice from the local lake and then cram the ice in around the beer, and that's how they would condition and save the beer over the summer months. So a huge amount of history, centuries of history, and just outside these tunnels here, there's a big festival going on, otherwise known as Bergkirchweih. Well, that's pretty good. Just as an example of how ingrained beer is in the local culture and how important this is, just yesterday 3 people got married in these cellars right here. Married in a beer cellar. Awesome. Not far from Erlangen is another town that has to be on the bucket list for any true beer lover. Next stop, Bamberg. Bamberg stands as one of the most traditional and beautiful towns in all of Germany, and the best way to see this region is undoubtedly on 2 wheels. However, I am here for beer, so I traded 2 wheels for 2 feet and set my sights on some of the finest breweries on the planet.
Bamberg is the heart of beer in Germany and the heart of beer in Europe. If you look to Bamberg, it's the region in the middle of all the beer. So we have about 200 breweries just around the area of Bamberg, 10 breweries in the city, and day after day after day you can try all the beers. In Bamberg, if you do that, you can spend a lifetime here.
First off the bat for me was Spezialkeller with its sweeping views. then Griefenklau for their delicious Weiss beer, Wasserbrau for their traditional German brown beer, and Marsbrau for their U beer, a favourite amongst the locals. But by far my favourite of them all was being swept back in time in the 600-year-old Schlenkerler brewery and tavern in the heart of the old city. Sipping on one of their famously smoky Rausch beers, fresh from the tank, deep in the centuries-old beer tunnels that burrow beneath the city, was an absolute highlight.
We love beer, we live beer, our identity is beer. So that's the special thing about Bamberg.
And as the sun sets over this spectacular city, it's time for me to say goodbye to Bavaria and get ready for the next leg of my incredible German beer pilgrimage. Stay tuned because next episode I'll be heading north to the buzzing German city of Cologne.